Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 3 of Women in Tech Week, brought to you by the Zimbabwe chapter of Women in Tech Africa. We appreciate you staying with us for the past 3 days now. And today we're closing up with some phenomenal speakers, phenomenal ladies whose work I deeply respect. Now we are just going to start with a video from our founder, Ethel Coffey.
Hello and welcome to another Women in Tech Week. My name is Ethel Coffey and I'm founder of Women in Tech Africa. Especially to the women joining us from all over Africa and the diaspora, you are welcome. A special welcome from the women joining us from Mauritius, Kenya, Ghana, Zimbabwe, Ireland, and Germany. The ethos of Women in Tech Africa has been to foster peer learning across the network across Africa. And we trust that our panels and master classes in leadership, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and entrepreneurship will help you move to the next level in your career. Thank you for joining our events, and we hope for networking and learning across the whole of Africa and the diaspora. Enjoy yourself.
Thank you so much to Ethel. We are just going
Hello, Mama. Welcome to the Digital Parenting Success Formula, where you get to learn how to raise cyber.
Apologies for that. My video wanted to also take the stage. I would just like to introduce today, because one of the values of Women in Tech Africa is to make impact, especially to future generations of young women and girls. And what we are discussing today is women tech influencers. We need people who are going to show these young women what it means to become a technopreneur, what it means to make an impact in the tech space, and a whole lot more. So I will start by asking Sophie, please, if you could just introduce yourself. Sophie is a digital rights activist and STEM advocate for girls. If you could start by, please, just introducing yourself, tell us about the work that you do and how you are impacting young women in Africa.
Hello everyone, Sophie here from Yaoundé, Cameroon. I hope you can hear me, Edith.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. I am a STEM advocate, instructor and trainer for girls around Africa. I am also a digital rights activist. As a STEM advocate, I have been running programs, hand-on practical programs for girls where I inspire them to join the different fields of technology. I motivate them. I bring out some hidden talents in them that can make them like the field of technology. I've been doing this for more than 15 years in my community, and it's really working out well, until when we had some challenges, which I'm going to tell you in a while. I'm also a digital rights activist because in Cameroon in 2017, we had the internet shutdown. It was actually 2 shutdowns. One was a partial one, and one was a complete blackout of the internet. And that's what made me become an activist for digital rights, because I was one of the women that stood up and was fighting against internet shutdown. Even in times of crisis, even if we are facing challenges, political challenges in our country, the internet has to be left on. Thank you, Edith. I think I end there for now.
Thank you so much, Sophie. That was incredible. We appreciate the role that you play, especially in your own country and in Africa. It is really a privilege to have somebody join us from Cameroon. We hope this is the beginning of Women in Tech Africa Cameroon chapter. Now, over to you, Loveness. If you could just please introduce yourself and tell us about the work that you do and how you are impacting young women and other women in Africa.
Okay, thank you so much, Edith. I'm coming you live from my car, the joys of technology on a school run. So my name is Loveness Nle. I'm a digital strategist and a technopreneur. I'm passionate about hashtag tech making a difference, one business, one life at a time. So in terms of working with women and empowering them to use tech for something, you know, most of the time, sometimes when we think of tech, when we want to use tech and the stories that we're hearing, it takes away the quality of life. So for me, it's more about having a holistic approach to tech and adding the quality of life or the quality of business to women in whatever sphere that will take me. Are you there, Edith?
Thank you so much, Loveness.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten to unmute myself. Okay, Sophie, I understand you have something that you prepared for us. Oh, before you go on, Sophie, let me just introduce our third panelist. She's just joined us. A warm welcome to you, Henrika.
Thank you so much, Edith. I'm so sorry I had bad connection challenges. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. We're just doing our intros. If you could just please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your work and how you're coming into the tech space to impact women and young girls.
Sure. So as you know, I am Henrika Makulu. I am currently a data scientist for EcoCash Holdings, which is the mobile tech company in Zimbabwe. I also own a company called HM Digital, which aims to mentor and train young people, particularly girls, who are interested in getting into the data science field. And how I got into my tech journey, you'll hear all about it later.
Brilliant. Lovely. So we'll hand it over to you, Sophie. You can go ahead with your presentation, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Edith. Okay, let me share my screen because I have a few slides. Okay, can you see my screen, please?
Yes.
Okay,
Nice.
good. Yeah, so I'll begin by introducing myself again. I am Sophie Ngasa. I am a digital rights activist and a STEM mentor, a trainer, and an advocate for girls in Cameroon. I have been mentoring girls for more than 15 years and training them and doing advocacy work to bridge the gender tech divide. So before I go ahead, I'll tell you a bit about Cameroon, because Cameroon is one of those countries in Africa that is a bit different from the others. Why different? We are a bilingual country where 70% of the population speaks French and English. The capital is Yaoundé. The highest point is Mount Fako in Boya, where we have a very huge mountain. We have a population of about 30 million people now. Here is 24 million, but I'm sure we're more than that because this is 2017. We have 2 official languages, and we are based in Central Africa. Sometimes they say West Africa. Thank you. I'll share my personal experience now. My journey began like 20 years ago when growing up like a young girl at home. I'm the lone girl in a family of 4. Growing up with 3 girls was not easy, where I have to do all the household chores by myself. I have to make it to school. I have to help my mother at the kitchen. I had to do all the things that any young girl can do in her community, which made it so difficult for me, but I kept true. And after my primary school, I went to the college or the high school, which was not very different, but the number of girls in class, number of girls and boys in class were approximately equal. There was not that kind of big gap until when I got to the university, where there were only 3 girls in a class of about 60. That is when the gap began showing, and that is where it began to impact the girls negatively. So at the lower level is a big balance, but the higher you go, you know, it's like a pyramid where you have very little girls, a very small number of girls at the top. And I was able to go through university. I studied civil engineering at the Advanced School of Public Works in Yaoundé. So I graduated like a civil engineer, and later on went to another school where I learned how to teach. So I've been teaching civil engineering in a technical college for more than 15 years. That's where I began working. At work, the challenges were still same. In my department, I was the only woman for even close to 10 years, yes. So it was this kind of situation where the men didn't believe in the potentials of women. The men will not trust us. The men would not want to understand that we can do what they are doing and even do it better. So I face a lot of gender-based violence sometimes, yes, where even my male colleagues bullied me. And another part of my journey is being a mompreneur. I'm married, mother of 4 kids, 2 boys and 2 girls. And I'm doing all what I'm doing like a family woman, a mother, a wife, a teacher. It has not been easy, yes. It has been so busy, rushing up and down, making it to work, taking care of the kids, making sure the husband is happy, making sure your in-laws are smiling. Oh my goodness. When I see where I am today, it really brings joy to me. I can smile at that. So what I do basically is about digital skills training. And the main goal is to narrow the gender tech gap, which is wide. It has been wide, it's still wide. Though it's closing a bit, it's very slow. I'm telling you, it's really slow. So we need to keep working. So I'll ask the other other ladies on the panel, Loveness, Herika, we have work to do. We need to put more efforts. We need to build that society where women have equal interest and access to STEM education and all the opportunities they provide. Yes, there are so many opportunities and possibilities in the world of technology. I'm sure the other panelists are going to talk more on this because the world is growing at a very fast pace in terms of digital technology. So my advocacy work is around hands-on training programs where I inspire girls to join the STEM fields. I carry out little activities with the help of mentors where I spike the interest in them. I try to attract them so they should love technology, they should love chemistry, maths, physics. I mean, I try to make them understand it's simple and they can do it. I also motivate girls to pursue STEM at school by organizing events. You know, I can do an open day, holiday programs, and after school programs. And all of this is to ignite the power of creativity because girls are very, very creative. Girls have a huge potential that is just sleeping in them. So, and also I encourage girls to lead social change through peer education and peer mentoring, where I have girls encouraging their friends, talking to them, telling them to join them on the activities that we carry out. Oh, this is one of the events I did. It had a great impact. It was the Yes She Codes Bootcamp. During this program, we had close to 60 girls that joined. It was, they had to use Photoshop to design. Every girl had to complete a design using Photoshop, and each girl had a computer. It was a program for 4 days. We ran it for about 3 sessions, and it was so successful. And I want to say that from these girls, about half of them went home and began bothering their parents, wanting to go to technical colleges, wanting to pursue different fields in technology. So I was very satisfied with this program. Oh yeah, this is one of the designs. This is actually a sample of what the ladies had to come out with. We had this trainer that came from the United States to run this event. She sponsored it actually, and I was the host. Bring a Girl to STEM project was also a huge project. Yes, during this project, which ran for a period of 1 year, I also had mentors, female mentors, who came to my digital lab. I had a digital lab that I created with STEM kits. It had computers, it had tablets, cell phones. The girls would come here on Saturdays and after school and learn. I mean, it was amazing. They were the community, what they were doing, join us. That is the journalist that actually gave me the space. He offered it for free when he saw what I was doing. Okay, sorry, my internet is unstable, but I hope you're still hearing me. So this project had also a very huge impact. You know, the media is actually a great tool to use when you want the message to go far and far and far. Okay, this is the Ensemble Cameroon project. It's actually in French. This is when we're creating the Digital Rights Coalition in Cameroon that I lead. This coalition was created after we had the 2 internet shutdowns in Amenda. That's just one part of Cameroon had blackout, whereas about 80% of the population had the internet on. Can you imagine that? That was because we're experiencing socio-political crisis in Bamenda. So the government, in its own way to cut the crisis, shut down the internet, thinking it was going to solve the problem. But I want to tell you that was not a solution to the socio-political crisis, because even up to now, it's ongoing and it's so sad. The government said people were using the internet as a tool for war. They were using social media to propagate and to instigate people to violence. So they cut down the internet, which was really wrong. That was really violating our rights. That's how we got partners come in. And I had to share my story of how the internet affected me. My stories were published on some international magazines, Slate Magazine, World Pulse, a good number. And that's how I gained visibility, and I led this project, which I still lead to today. We created this coalition that fights digital rights in Cameroon. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is that you need to be the change you want to see. Yes, begin with you. You start with yourself. It's all about you to begin with. Before you can go to the next person or before you meet other people, you start with you. Start where you are and with what you have. Yes, it can be expensive. It can be demanding. You have to get out of your comfort zone and start putting some system in place and doing the things you want to see happen. So, and that's how I've progressed to the level of where I'm now a vision building leadership coach. With all the experience I have in my expertise, I'm giving it back to my community through this coaching program, which I just launched a few months ago and which is currently running at the Vision Building Leadership Lab, where I'm coaching girls, coaching women. I mean, I'm even doing free trainings where they can learn how to lead a cause. I was able to lead a cause for social change, which was to bring back the internet, where I worked with Access Now using the hashtag bring back the internet, keep it on. If you go there, you see my picture, everything. I'm good at advocacy. I did some strong advocacy on that. So I want to give it back to my community. Because of the crisis, I had to move out of Bamenda and relocate to Yaoundé. Yes, I moved with my family. So presently, I'm live from Yaoundé in Anasta Digital Empowerment Hub. This is a hub I created 2 years ago when I came to Yaoundé. In this hub, I train girls, women, how to use digital technologies for their advocacy campaigns, for their business, or anything they want to do. Oh, I also have this lab. I call it Sofitech Workstation. I'm actually sitting there now in this my workspace where I do videos, live trainings like these ones, and where I run my coaching sessions. It's really a journey, and it's so interesting and amazing. I love it. Thank you very much for your kind attention. You can see my contacts and my website there. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Sophie. That is phenomenal work that you're doing. I was taking notes. I just couldn't keep up with all the impact that you're making over there in Cameroon. And just to name a few things that I picked up, your She Codes Bootcamp, Bring a Girl to STEM project, radio program for girls, that is just impactful. Thank you so much for being such a positive influencer to the young people, and even to some of us. You've actually positively influenced me as you were talking. And one of the key takeaways I got from you was start from where you are and be the change you want to see. And I'm sure this is an important message for all the people across Africa. Now, for the sake of time, we'll just quickly move on to Henrika. If you could please give us your presentation, and then we'll close off with Loveness.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Sophie. I myself am inspired. When I was looking up Sophie's name, I noticed that she's a past Tech Women Fellow. And I've been chosen for Tech Women 2022, so I'm honored to be walking behind you. So thank you so much for your energy. We really feel it. All right. Let me just share my screen and we can get started. Just confirm once you can see my screen.
I can see you.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, great. So like I said, I'm Henrika. I'm a data scientist as well as the founder of HM Digital, which offers training and mentorship to young people who want to get into the data science space. I'm going to take you on what I call my techimony. For me, my techimony is my technology testimony. How did I start? And you're going to walk into the process. So I'm not going to give the year I was born so that I don't feel too old. So I'll just give you a range. You can see which generation I'm from there. So that's when I was born, and I went to high school around about the 2000s. I thought to share these two things. In high school, I struggled, or rather my family struggled to pay my fees. And I'd sometimes go for terms without having my fees paid. I also didn't do too great in my A level because at that time I had chosen science subjects, which when I had passed art subjects for my O level. But because I was a tomboy, I wanted to be up there with the tough boys doing the sciences. And so I did sciences and my results didn't come out too great. Why am I sharing this? Because you'll notice at the end of this testimony that life is full of failures for you to get to success. So that was my high school. 2007, I then went to university. I still had some fees issues and I had to repeat a year. And I like sharing this story because a lot of people look at me today and say, wow, a female data scientist in Africa. And I'm always reminding people that actually my maths degree was so hard that I had to repeat 1 year in university. But now, do I have the degree? Yes, I do. So that's what matters. After university, finished my home maths degree, I still didn't know what I wanted to be. Why am I sharing this? If you are a young person who's watching this today and you still don't know what you want to be, that's fine. Moving on in my technology journey, 2012, I graduated and managed to get an admin job. I was literally just putting things in files and recording. It was an agricultural organization, so I was recording farmers' names in an Excel sheet. I did this for 5 years. Imagine, this is someone with a maths degree filing things and just listing things. So I was obviously unfulfilled. I knew I could do more, but I didn't know how. During this time, I tried out for my driver's license. I failed my driving test 12 times. I only got my driver's license on the 13th time. Again, I'm telling you this for a reason. Around about 2017, someone said to me, you know, you're always complaining about your job, but what exactly are you doing about it? And it dawned on me that I had become this negative person who was just feeling stuck in this job, giving the excuse that jobs are hard to come by in Zimbabwe. But this person made me see that actually, maybe I'm the one with the problem. So I started to think, okay, what do I really want to do? If I had no limitations, what would I do? And I came across the term data analysis. A friend in the States told me about it. And they said, if you have math, data analysis or data science is great for you. So think about it. So I started training myself online. I Googled what is data analysis. I had no idea. Started taking a few courses online. And then I redid my CV and I managed to get an interview at Econet, which is the largest technology company in Zimbabwe. Now, in the interview, we were 5 candidates. The other 4 had master's degrees. I had no master's degree. And when I was asked, do you know what logistic regression is? Do you know what an algorithm is? My answer was no, no, no. But I showed passion and I literally told the hiring manager that, look, I'm a passionate individual. I learn quick. I just need you to train me. Whatever you teach me, I'll learn. So I think they kind of picked up that shame. This person just hasn't had opportunities, but we'll try her out. And so out of the 5 candidates, I got that job. So what they did is instead of giving me the data scientist post, they dropped it down a level to data analyst. And they literally trained me from day one on how do you even begin, which is partly why I'm passionate about training people, because I received training from scratch. And sometimes it's just a lack of opportunity. The minute someone sits down and explains it to you, it becomes so simple. So I'm glad to say that 3 years later, this year, I've now finally been promoted to that data scientist post that I applied for 3 years ago. And then around about 2020, I became a global shaper. You can look them up. Global shapers are young people who are trying to make big changes in their communities. I also got to work with a phenomenal man, Fayaz King. You can look him up online. He's now the Assistant Secretary General at the UN. When I was working in Econet, he just took me and started mentoring me without me asking. Again, I learned from him, and that's what I do now. I see young people and I say, come, let me teach you something, even when they haven't asked, because I was impacted by a man who did that for me. I was given the opportunity to go to the States in 2019, and my visa was denied initially because they said, you're single, you're not married, you might not come back. So I really felt prejudiced against, but through support of my friends, I then reapplied and I managed to go to the States for this conference. And now today, I'm a technical writer. I write articles on how to get into data science. I'm a mentor, a speaker, a founder, a trainer. So the point of this Techie Money, ladies and gentlemen, is there is no success without failure. People look at me today and say, wow, I want to be like her. Behind the scenes, there's a whole lot of failures and heartaches. So that's my Techie Money. This is me in university. Like Sophie said, there are very few people who do sciences. So this lady and I were the 2 ladies in the whole degree program doing maths. I think there were 50 men or 50 guys and just 2 ladies. I also enjoyed playing basketball. So I used to work hard and I used to play hard. This is me down the red arrow there, playing basketball for my university. And finally graduating after 5 years. For those in Zimbabwe, you can see I'm holding a cascade, guys. Life was tough back then. So just a few pictures of my journey. Then versus now. Now I'm very proud to say I hold a BSc honors in applied mathematics. No one knows I had to repeat a year, right? I can say that with confidence. I've done some data science certifications. I've got 6 years experience in data analysis. I've trained hundreds of individuals in this field. I was recently recognized as one of Africa's leading women in data, and so forth and so forth. So this is just to inspire you. If you have a dream and you don't know how to go about it yet, humble beginnings can yield to greater things. These are a few snippets of me doing what I love. I love talking to people. I love engaging people. And I love sharing data stories, which is basically just using data to tell a story, which is what I've done with you today. And like I said, I've done a TEDx talk. These are a few of the things that I'm grateful for, that I've been able to achieve along my journey. And now I'm going to, for a moment, focus on you. Over to you. The things that have helped me kind of take my journey to where it is now is asking myself these questions, and I'd like you to ponder upon these. What is most important to you? The reason I ask that is many people are stuck in jobs they don't like, jobs where they feel they're not making a difference. Try and plan your career in such a way that you're doing something that is important to you, right? We could see Sophie's passion, and that's simply because she's literally doing something that's important to her. Secondly, what is your biggest passion? What is it that moves you? It's linked to what's important, but it's more of the passion, what ignites you, right? What are your talents and your skills? What do you do that people say, you do this so easily, right? That's your third question. Fourth question, maybe you don't have the skill right now, but what skill can you build in the future? And lastly, what do you want to be known for? Answering these questions can help you build your career because you're looking at what's important, what you love, what you can do, what skills you can build, and what you want to be known for. So I hope that helps. So think about it. What do you want to be known for? For me, I want to be known as a data storyteller, and I think I'm moving towards that. Okay, I'm just going to end with 5 tips or 5 lessons learned. The first is create a list of actions that will help you get to your goal. So what's the difference between where you are now and where you want to be? Start listing the actions that will bridge that gap. That's the first thing that I've done. Secondly, start small. A lot of people get overwhelmed by the fact that, oh, I want to change the world, but I don't know where to start. Where you are, start with where you are. When I started mentoring, I'll tell you this, it was during the first COVID lockdown. That was just recently. I literally found someone online, a student from a university, and had a Zoom session with her and started teaching her data. Now I can tell you I've reached hundreds of girls and even young men in data because I started. The key is starting. So start small and be consistent. If you dedicate an hour a week to something, by the time you get to the end of the year, you've achieved so much, right? Determine what sets you apart. There are many data scientists in this world, but I'm confident that I'm not like them. There's something that's different about me. And for me, one of the things is usually data scientists want to be behind a closed door in a corner on their computer, not talking to people. The difference with me is I'll be behind closed doors working on my code, but I also want to communicate and talk and engage. And for me, that's what sets me apart. What sets you apart? Solve problems, make impact, leave an impression. I remember when I was in university, I worked on attachment, simply answering calls, but I answered calls so well that everyone really could say that girl is good at what she does. So it doesn't matter if it's coding or if it's making tea for people, whatever you do, make sure you're solving a problem, you're making impact, and you're leaving an impression on the people you come across. You don't have to be clever, just be intentional. Like I said, I didn't do too well in my A-levels. I repeated a year in university, but now I have people who got distinctions in my university degree calling me to say, please help me, how can I get into data science? Because I've been intentional about my journey, but not necessarily clever. Lastly, if you forget everything I said today, remember these 3 things. Pick an interest, learn as much as you can, practice, practice, practice. Experts take years to learn things, but our generation likes to learn, to do things quickly, so we miss this sometimes. Even if you spend 5 years doing one thing, that's the experience that is being built. So that's my last word for you today. And I'll just give a shameless plug. You can find me on YouTube. I do videos on data. Follow me on LinkedIn. I'm very active there. Check out my data articles on resiliatech.com. And I'm also on SlideShare. So thank you so much, everyone, for having me today. It's been exciting sharing my journey with you.
Oh, wow. this is just so much more than I expected, honestly. Thank you so much for taking us through your techie morning. I think I'm going to borrow that sometime. Thank you so
Sure.
much. Yeah, it is amazing to see that impact and making a positive influence in other people's lives has nothing to do with where you came from. We saw from Henrika's story, she had money struggles, repeated at uni, struggled with some of her own courses and subjects that she loved. But the important thing is she forged ahead, she was resilient, and now she is making such an impact. She's a global shaper. She's just been selected for Women Tech. She's also worked with big people like Fayaz King. What more can we say? Worked with more than 500 young people in just this short space of time. So to all the people who are watching out there, young, old, we have to learn that whatever we're doing, we need to leave an impression. We have to solve problems. We have to be intentional and to always be willing to learn and to keep practicing our skills, follow our passions. There was just so much, so power packed. Thank you so much, Henrika, for that. Now we will move on to Loveness. I've noticed we've got a couple of comments and questions. We'll attend to those at the end. Loveness, if you could just take us through your journey and any words that you'd like to share with us today as a woman influencer in tech.
Wow, guys. I am so excited by everything everyone has shared. And to you, girl, guess what? I'm still drinking the Cascades. I love them. I know it's free marketing, but I love them. Anyhow, like Edith has said, I am, and also I mentioned earlier on, I'm a digital strategist and technopreneur. And you know what? I wasn't always that person. Professionally, I'm an NGO accountant with 12 years experience in the field. What made me change and do such a drastic shift was because, you know what, I'm passionate about philanthropy. I've always been passionate about it since I was, since I can remember, literally. I've loved philanthropy. So, the job I was doing fulfilled me at a very huge level because I was part of something greater. I was making an impact on the community. But I got to a place where when I looked at my life and the way I was living, for me, being an accountant at that time, it was during a time when our former president, R.G. Mugabe, the late, had announced a state of emergency. So relief food was coming in and the pressure was so much. And so sometimes I'd find myself getting home, I'm leaving home early in the morning and getting home very late, and that impacted my health. And, when I was single, I was like, oh, okay, fine, at least I'm doing something that I love. But then when I got married, things changed. When I became a mom, it even changed more because my child stopped crying for me. And, that just broke my heart. I had to sit down with myself and ask myself, do I see myself continuing to live this life? Do I see myself, where do I see myself 5 years from now? Am I doing what, I just had to ask myself those questions. And the answer was no. I had a creative side of me that always came out, even in the accounting that I did, the tech stuff. I would solve our accounting issues on the tech side. And, I just became the go-to person in terms of some of the issues that we're having in the department. So, I watched Who Moved My Cheese, the movie, the cartoon movie. And, a lady I was at my second NGO. And, I was like, when I was watching that movie of the four characters in there running around the maze, finding their cheese and what it meant, it's just an amazing and powerful and insightful animation that talks about people going after their cheese, the things that fulfills them, the things that make you feel happy, the things that, put the wind beneath your wings, something like that, And as I was looking, I was like, oh my goodness, that's me. It was my aha moment during a staff meeting. And I said, no, I've got to change. That was it. I made that decision. I've got to change. I'm willing to do whatever it takes for me to just move and, be able to spend time. I was time broke. Sometimes you can have the money and to put food on the table, to provide for the family, but you be time broke. You don't spend time with the family that you're working for. I had to ask myself, what's going on? And do I want to live my life like this? Do I want the helper to raise my children? So I just definitely didn't want that. So one thing that I then did was start learning from the internet. I had virtual mentors, what I call virtual mentors, people that don't even know my name. And I started learning digital marketing before I even know what it was called. And once I discovered what it was called, then people would ask me, so what are you doing? What are you doing these days? I'll be like, digital marketing. And they'll be like, what's that? I mean, really, what's that? But now it's literally a buzzword. So, people are throwing, literally everyone knows about it. But for me, it was a different situation. So I took 4 years. And if you had seen me then, no one would have wanted to have been me 3 years ago, 4 years ago when I was learning, because I had to make so many sacrifices. One thing that I have always wanted to do is to become an authentic influencer. So today I actually made the effort not to wear any makeup, plain, t-shirt. This is the way I want to be an authentic person. So if you're watching me, sometimes as we are going out online, thank you, Enrica. As we are going out online, there is so much pressure to be people that we're not, even at a young age. We've had now, Facebook is coming out. There was a whistleblower saying that, research was done to show that Instagram actually had mental health implications on the young girls. And this information was not looked at. Some of the apps that are being developed, and I know Google and IBM and some of these developers are actually engaging developers to say, let's create apps that are not habit forming. Let's create apps that will not take away the quality of life from people, but add quality. So I think the most important thing that I can say today about influencing online, there are mental health issues that are of concern. They don't be emotionally connected to likes and things like that. Just be yourself. Create content because it fulfills you. Don't go for the vanity statistics. What do you call vanity statistics? If you get a like, great. If you don't, so what? Just tell yourself, some will, some won't, so what? And you create the content that fulfills you, because guess what? There is an audience specifically waiting for you. So as influencers, ladies, girls, moms, don't be under pressure to show flesh, to do things that are, things that you would make you, feel vulnerable or just expose you sometimes. If this is something that you don't want to do, just go out there. Some people have seen me in what we call mabanzi in Zimbabwe, where you just take your natural hair, put thread on it, and you go like that. And let's just accept each other. Let's not put pressure on each other to be people that we're not. But I want to applaud every lady that goes out there, that takes a chance going live. It's not easy going online and talking to people. And I know my time is up, but my encouragement is, let's go out there and be ourselves. We need content creators. We need pictures of beautiful African women. We are so rich in culture. We are so rich even in diversity of creativity. When I'm doing graphics design, I struggle to find African pictures. Ladies, where are you? Where are you? With your beautiful skin, with your beautiful hair. we need you. So, you know, if you Google at Loveness in Leah, you'll find me, everything about me, the websites, the social media platforms, and I look forward to engaging with each and every one of you. Hey, thank you so much for this platform. I'm just humbly grateful for the organizers and for Edith. And, you know, I'm inspired by all the panelists. Love you guys. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Loveness. That was really powerful. You know, mental health is a serious challenge. And I've seen it also in my line of work, working with children in the digital space, that mental health is the #1 factor that is affecting both young and old. Thank you for bringing that up and just reminding us to be authentic, to be ourselves. There's nothing wrong with being who we are offline, online. So thank you for that. And I also loved this thing that you brought up about having virtual mentors, because a lot of us had struggled when we were growing up looking for mentorship, but you brought up a very important point that because of the advantages of technology and being connected, we can actually get mentorship from people who might not even know who we are. I know, for instance, I follow a number of people that I've never met, they've never met me, but they've made an impact on my life. And Who Moved My Cheese? Wow. Everybody should read that book or watch that movie. It's brilliant, very short, but very impactful. Thank you so much, Loveness. If you could also throw in your contacts into the chat so that anyone who didn't quite catch where to find you, the same with all the other panelists, please do so for us. I'll just now turn on to the questions. We are running out of time, so I will just breeze through quickly. Tofara is asking, I think this one is for Sophie, how do we bring she codes to Zimbabwe? How do we bring she codes to Zimbabwe? Sophie, if you could take that, please.
Okay, thank you for that question. Yeah, Tafora, there are a number of projects for girls in tech online. There is a good one called Technovation Challenge, which I also did in Cameroon. Technovation Challenge, I'll put it in the chat box. It's also a very good program where girls learn how to code. They build applications for Android phones, mobile apps. There is also the Microsoft Office Championship, which is also online. It's a very good challenge where the winners have the chance of traveling to the US because it's a global competition. Even Technovation Challenge, the people that are the finalists, they have the chance of traveling to the US to go and compete with the other girls there. So if you send me an email, I have a number of these challenges that I can share with you that I've actually run in Cameroon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sophie. We have comments from Tofara says, this is wonderful. Bring a girl to STEM, she codes. Blessing says, great job, Sophie. We've got Regina who's joining us. And then she's saying, wow, amazing job. Good job, Sophie. Lovely stuff, Sophie from Henrika. Great work you're doing, Sophie from Glenda. And then EJ says, congratulations, sis. I knew I could do more, but I didn't know how. I think this is Enrica's quote. I love this. Many are where you were then. Great testimony. There's no success without failure, definitely. And Sophie also commented, true. Wow, congratulations. Congratulations, Enrica. And then we've got comments for Loveness. Whatever you do, leave an impression. And remarkable testimony, Henrika, you're doing amazing, so inspiring. And then we have a comment from someone who says, look at you drinking Cascade, Loveness. You're inspiring us with your Cascade as well, both Henrika and Loveness. And time broke. Yeah, a lot of us are time broke because we're so socially engaged. We forget that time is moving and we cannot reverse time. We cannot borrow time. Once it's gone, it's gone. You look great. I love you, the way you're authentic, Loveness. We have to keep it real. Kudos to you. And then we've got Lady D joining us. And Blessing says, create content that fulfills you. Be yourself from EJ. I love the African Queen from Sophie. Lovely, Loveness. Thank you. And Oh, the comments, there's so much going on. Thank you so much. I was just looking for any questions, but Tofara, do you have a question for us? If you can share in the chat. Okay, I see there's another question. Henrika, please can I have your number if possible? And so Henrika, if you could please throw in your number, if you could share it with Tofara or all the participants, it's up to you. And then someone is asking, how do you choose your mentees? Henrika, how do you choose your mentees?
Okay, so usually it's just organic. I get so many people reaching out to me both on WhatsApp and on LinkedIn. So if you are interested, just put my number there. And then what I do is I choose the serious ones first, and I have a criteria I use to check if you're serious or not. I won't share my secrets.
She's refusing to share her intellectual property. Well, you have that right. Thank you. If we could just have some last words. It looks like we've lost Loveness, but okay. And EJ is asking, I'd like to rewatch How to Get Recording. Well, I'm sure there's going to be a recording sent to all the participants, but also if you could go to Women in Tech Africa on Facebook, we're also streaming live on Facebook, and you can get the replay from there. So thank you. If you can, I think, yes, there's the link that Henrika has shared for the Facebook link. If you can follow that link, and you will be able to get the replay on Facebook as well. Now, if we could just share some last words as we round up. We'll start with you, Henrika. It's last words for young girls and women in tech.
So I see one of my mentees who is a young man is also here. So also just to share, sometimes we focus too much on the girl child and we leave the boy child out. So thanks for joining Hastings and any other young men who are here. My last words are basically to say, if you have a dream, write it down and start listing the actions that will get you. Simplify it that way. And if anyone wants to reach out to me, please feel free to do so. I was also very inspired by Sophie and Loveness. So thank you for today, Edith.
Welcome. Sophie, your last word. You're on mute, Sophie.
Yes, I'll ask all the ladies to wake up, follow your dreams, catch them and build your dreams. Don't be scared. Don't be scared of your wild dreams. Wake up, follow them, press the start button today. Thank you.
Oh, awesome, awesome. We need to wake up, ladies. You heard that. I've definitely been woken up by all these golden nuggets that I got today. And final comments, Sherilyn Maposa says, thank you so much to the speakers. I needed this session. Hastings Svanda says, very soon we'll be advocating for gender equality too. I think he's a guy who's saying we need our voices to be heard as well. And thank you, Henrika from Blessing. Yeah, and Wake Up. Yeah, so thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. We encourage you to join more of the sessions from the entire Women in Tech Africa chapters across Africa and in the diaspora. We also have sessions that are going on in Mauritius, Kenya, in Ireland, and Germany, as well as in Zimbabwe. But this is our closing session. We thank you so much for joining us throughout the 3 days. We hope you enjoyed and you learned at least one thing that you can take away and start implementing now as you are woke, as you have been woken up by our speakers. So our panelists, thank you so much for your time and for your wisdom. We appreciate you and we look forward to hosting you again in future. Thank you to our participants, to everybody who joined us on Facebook, to the organizers, and to all the women in tech, Zimbabwe, and across the world. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Everyone.